It's the afterlife, Ashley.
It is. And we're still here in the afterlife.
Okay. First of all, thank you to everyone who supports the show. I see you, new patrons. There was a bunch of you. There was some upgrades, too.
So I saw some upgrades. You guys are so kind.
Yeah. Very, very fun. Very, very fun. Hello. I am Joel Sharpton, one half of the Articulate Coven, and this is a very special treat for you YouTubers and YouTube fans of ours. I appreciate you watching us, and I hope this isn't the only thing that you're watching. If this is the first time that you found us, cool. We mostly do Anne Rice stuff, although we talk a lot of Stephen King here as well. Check out the other videos. I talk Dark Shadows also. I do some Dark Shadows reactions. All of that and more at articulatecoven.com. This, though, is our coverage of Welcome to Derry. It was a Patreon exclusive. We did episode-by-episode breakdowns of Welcome to Derry Season 1, and we'll cover Chapter 2 in the future. We also, though, talked about the It movies, the new Part 1 and Part 2, and we've now covered the It miniseries from the 90s as well. Patrons have all of that already. They've been enjoying it week by week as we've been covering it and releasing them. However, they also begged us, hey, Welcome to Derry is really popular. I think some new people might find you and join the Coven, and we're all for cool people joining the clubhouse. So, since our patrons wanted us to do it, we want to do it for you too. We're dropping these week by week on YouTube. I hope you enjoy them. And if you enjoy them enough, you can go get them early and ad-free and more often. articulatecoven.com/join. All right, well, let's talk about these two movies. First of all, I am going to correct myself. I said to you last week that I had not seen Chapter 2 until this viewing. And yet, when I go to log it, this is the reason I like Letterboxd, by the way. I'm going to put my Letterboxd profile in the show notes here. Yeah, I reviewed this damn thing. I watched it in April of 2020, right before my anniversary.
Oh, that's right. It's beginning of COVID, too. That's early COVID days, Joel. No wonder you forgot. That's been 12 years ago.
Here's what I said then. I gave it 5 stars as well. I said a solid end to the first film story with a good dose of flashbacks to connect emotionally with some of the deeper fears of these characters. Pennywise here is better than in the first film, and the effects are great as well. If anything, I'd have liked a bit more, as when the tale wraps up, I felt the journey was too brisk instead of overstuffed at all. Since this made a ton of money, I'd not be surprised to see a further visit into the material, maybe bringing in more of the cosmic aspects of the book, and yes, even the turtle. Great Stephen King cameo, too. Okay, mostly the only thing that I agree with that review this next time that I've now seen it is great Stephen King cameo. It was a great Stephen King cameo in Part 2. I would like to see more of the cosmic aspects of the book, and I would like to see the fucking turtle finally somewhere. I don't like Part 2 very much at all, Ashley. And I think in some ways it sours Part 1.
It doesn't sour Part 1 for me. The things that I don't like about Part 1 carry into Part 2, 100%. There are things about this adaptation as a whole that are so fucking on. That house on Neibolt Street is so fucking scary.
Oh my God. Yes.
And that is something, and Eddie's leper, like that shit that was so scary in the book that they didn't even touch in the miniseries. We never go to the house on Neibolt Street in the miniseries, in the 90s miniseries. So in some ways, the adaptation is a lot more pure and hits a lot of things that the first miniseries left out. However, the disconnects, I don't feel like they build enough. We don't have enough time with them rediscovering their friendship as adults. All of that seems so rushed in the second movie, and I'm like, oh, you did fucking. That's what's 2 hour 30-minute movie. Like you had time, to work some of that out.
They could have fixed that. They could have fixed that with one fell swoop by fixing my biggest problem with both films altogether. They should have shot these movies back to back. They didn't. They hadn't cast the adults when they shot Part 1.
Yep.
And it's the worst thing about it. First and foremost, you should have shot all of the kids' shit at one time. The kids are noticeably older in Part 2 than they are in Part 1. And if you watch these back to back, it is jarring that this is supposed to be events interspersed within each other, right?
Yeah.
You're supposed to see these moments that we didn't see in the first movie is what you're seeing in the flashbacks to the kids. And it's just, it feels so wrong, I feel like. But it also would have fixed your problem with the reunion and the regrowing of the friendships if the whole thing was framed with the adults. If you'd cast your adults first and you start the story like the book does when they all have to come back together. We're all coming back together. This terrible shit is happening. Then we hear the story from, in this case, the 80s, not the 50s, but still, right?
Right.
Like, anyway, that's the play, is you make these movies together. They were I had forgotten how close they were together. Like, the fact that they didn't save money by shooting them over whatever, a 6-month, 9-month span or whatever, instead of stretching it out.
To know what their why behind that was, because at this point, so many people were shooting movies that way, like shooting them 2 movies in tandem, or at least some sections of them that way, so that you don't have continuity issues. You don't,
Maybe it was just maybe they made too big a budget bet, right? I know the first one was fairly largely budgeted for an R-rated movie at the time, and they weren't sure, is this property still going to be hot, But the first one made a boatload of money.
And they spent a boatload of money on their adult cast.
Yeah. Okay. That's my other one nit. I think the adult casting is effectively perfect. The best one in my opinion is Richie. Wolfhard or whatever his name is, the kid from from Stranger Things, and Bill Hader are just fucking perfect, and their attitudes and delivery are so close to each other. It's genuinely wonderful to watch. Obviously Ben has a big physical transformation anyway in the story, but I feel like those two match up very well as well.
And I liked that adult actor a lot.
I did too.
I don't really know that I've seen him in anything before that, but I really liked that. I really liked him. I
love McAvoy. He does not work as a grown-up Bill to me, though, for some reason. He just
isn't, I don't know. I don't know how he's just not vulnerable enough. I don't know what
I think that's part of it. I think that's part of it. It was the Walton kid in the miniseries, right? It was John Boy Walton that played it. And he is that. He is, first of all, he has the leadership qualities, right? That actor does, and the character that he plays there very much has the leadership qualities to bring the losers back together. But also, he is still just a little boy mourning the loss of his brother. And McAvoy, he's doing a good job, but for whatever reason, I can't quite connect him. He's not my biggest net, though, to pick. Jessica Chastain is an amazing actress. I think she is wonderful in everything that she does. She's good in this. There was a different actor that would have better matched this young actress, and I don't know who it is. I think I wrote the young actress's name down somewhere. Maybe I didn't. But I looked it up and tried to figure out who I was thinking of. At first my thing was like, it's not Amy Adams, I don't think. Maybe Isla Fisher. It's not an age problem.
Sophia Lillis.
I don't know what it is. Yes, Sophia Lillis is the young actor's name. And she's fantastic as Bev, I think.
She's fantastic.
And Jessica Chastain does fine. And again, if you don't put these in sequence, I think it doesn't matter. But the rest of the crew matches up with their child version so well that for McAvoy and Chastain, because they fall ever so slightly short for some reason of matching that energy and delivery, they stick out. They stick out kind of like sore thumbs to me. So
I do think that disconnect with like Bill not feeling as vulnerable is one of the issues with the adult cast not feeling as connected to me. There's not this like, we have to help Bill because that's that's it. That's what they're doing. They're doing that for Bill, The
best moment for Bill in part 2, to me, comes from not Bill, but Eddie. There's the moment when Eddie can't pick up the knife. He's locked in fear up against the wall, and he can't save, I think it's Ben that's in danger at the time. But when it's all over and the creature has been defeated, Bill is angry and yelling at Eddie, and he's like, he could have died. And Eddie goes, please don't be mad, Bill.
Yeah.
That's the best moment in both movies to me for Bill.
Yeah.
Is that moment where you see that Eddie would rather die, honestly, than disappoint Bill.
Bill, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Y'all, we're going to talk about these novels eventually, But boy, I love this story so much. My cat
I
is
do.
rebelling. Let me go put them out. Come on, you son of a... He loses his mind, Ashley.
Knox,
Yes, Knox.
behave yourself.
Come on. Okay, you go out too then. Come on, Knox.
We saw pictures today.
Today.
We finally got a pet thread going in the Facebook group. People have snakes. I don't think I could live with a snake. I'd always be worried it had escaped and then was hiding somewhere. You'll never find it till it wants you to.
That was world quality vamping, by the way. I'm going to leave almost all of that in. Also, it gives me an opening to tell this story, Ashley. I had a professor in college that had a pet snake. One of my poli-sci professors, Joe Richardson. I don't know if you know this, but everything that's wrong in America is either about Vietnam or Watergate. One of those two things is the reason why everything that is currently happening is happening.
I mean,
Joe taught me that.
We could probably trace a few things back to that, but
she also taught me about the concept of mutually assured destruction and détente, specifically as it referred to her giant snake that she kept in her house. I don't think it was a rattlesnake, but it was like a constrictor. It was a constrictor of some sort or something like that.
You don't keep rattlesnakes.
Yeah, I don't think it was a venomous snake. I think it was, but maybe it was I think it was a constrictor, but regardless, she would take it outside and walk it effectively from time to time and sun it outside so that the neighborhood could see. And her argument was it was mutually assured destruction for anyone who attempted to burglarize her. She didn't have a security system. She had a snake that she let go. Snake. That she let go loose. The snake was not very often in a cage or container in her home. Yeah. I also do not want a snake in my house. I'm sorry. I'm glad you like your pets. Did Kelly contribute to the pet thread today?
Yes.
I don't know. She was busy. Okay,
yes.
Awesome. So you got to see Knox. I love it.
We did. Knox and Rose.
Okay. Couple of things that I do like about part 2 specifically, because I think you and I are both on board. Part 1's great. I think it could have been better.
Part 1 scared the shit out of me. That scene in the garage is so fucking scary. Like that.
When he comes out of the projector, out of the screen.
God,
yeah.
Yes. And there are things like Pennywise looks more the way he's described in the book in this as well. So there's like a lot of things about it that make it even fucking scarier if you've read the book. Ooh.
Okay. On the good side, they make a couple of changes. For instance, I'm glad they didn't do the, hey, buddy, love you. Don't let the cat in here. I'm glad y'all are back. I didn't want to say this with him in the room. I'm glad they don't do the child orgy to end this book or to end book 1.
I mean, aren't we all glad that we don't do the child orgy? That was something written in a cocaine haze. Christ.
Okay, I had a great conversation with Judah the other day because Kelly and I finally watched Weapons, by the way, Ashley.
Oh, shit.
I enjoyed it a great deal. It was just as spooky in the couple of parts as I thought it was going to be. It was really too much gore at a couple of parts for me. However, my overall statement on that movie was that movie falls into a category that I think a lot of horror films do, where they think the film attempts to be more deep and more important and more insightful than the result actually is, right? Okay. I think that's sort of what King was trying to do with that scene from the books. He's trying to tell a story about like the passage from innocence to adulthood, right?
And, and honestly, the last time I read it, it did not horrify me.
It's not as terrible, I think, as people
not as graphic
remember it being.
In my brain, I remember it being a lot more graphic than that. It's not.
I think in our brain, Anne wrote it, and she didn't.
Oh, yeah, no, she did not. She did not.
King very much writes basically every sex scene like, and then there were boobs, and they were touched.
Her breast was like a deflated sandbag left on the side of a highway, abandoned by workers.
Every now and again, I do wonder, like, is Tabitha getting satisfied up there? Like, does Steven know what he's doing? Because he doesn't write like he knows what he's doing sometimes.
Or does Tabitha need to have her breasts checked? I'm not sure.
That's a good question, too. Anyway, I'm glad they left that out.
We're all glad. We're always glad. It's not in, like, the grosser, more uncomfortable parts of the Chronicles that we prefer not to dwell on.
Hey, make Claudia 16 instead of 6, like, or 15 instead of 5. That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
And maybe we don't diddle as many kids, Marius.
Maybe Amadeo's 21.
Maybe he could be a consenting adult. I don't know. Maybe we could do that just to make ourselves feel better. But we're really glad they don't run a train on the girl.
Okay. There are 2 I think these are changes, though, to the book. And I read the book fairly recently, but not as recently as you. They don't jump into the quarry at the end of part 2, do they?
No.
I didn't think so. I love that in the movie. Mm-hmm. I love that moment when they all go back in the water. And I love that they're like, boy, Eddie would have hated this, washing in dirty water. I think that's a really, really lovely moment, honestly. Also, Bev and Ben don't end up together in the book, do they?
Yes.
They do. Okay. All right. I like that. I think maybe in the miniseries they don't. Okay. That does lead though to something that I don't like that they took out in part 2. You got a 2.5-hour movie that's the second part of a movie that was already 2 hours plus. Mm-hmm. They cut out all of the other characters from the adult story that don't come from Derry, right? Like Bill's got a wife that comes to town. Bev's got a husband who comes to town and causes trouble.
Causes all kinds of fucking shit, and they introduced
the bully from the first one. The bully from the first one is in there a lot more.
Yeah,
Henry Bowers is in this a lot more than he is in the film version. We introduced the bully husband, but we don't get payoff for that story. Yeah. Anyway, I like parts of that. I'm glad they didn't do the will they, won't they, cheating storyline. Like Bev and Bill have sex at least once in the book.
Yeah.
And even though their spouses are on their way to Derry, and like that whole storyline.
They don't know they're on their way.
They don't know they're coming and they don't know they're coming. Indeed. Okay, here's something that had never occurred to me in all the times I've read this book and watching the miniseries back when and watching these movies a couple of times. The naming. You've got Bev, Ben, and Bill. Mm-hmm. And then you've got Eddie, Richie, Stan, and Mike. Okay, they're all the Losers Club. But I do think that King was trying to show us something with the 3, Bev, Ben, and Bill, in that they're the normal losers, right? They're the 3 that if they wanted to, they could go join normal society, I feel like.
Not as kids,
Meanwhile,
though. Not as kids.
I mean, maybe not. Maybe a Bill especially, like he's a stutterer. Bev is broken.
Bev's
sure.
Father's horribly abusive.
And Ben obviously is a chunky kid.
Yeah. I mean, that's like a lot of childhood trauma piled up there.
I do think though that naming is on purpose. I think the other 4 are meant to be separated out a little bit. And I think the part 2 movie plays on that a little bit. And we do see there is a line through which this group could have fractured, both in the old story and the adult story, and it didn't for whatever reason, through Stan's sacrifice, through whatever. But like, okay, Stan was Jewish. Richie and Eddie in the movie especially are sort of hinted that maybe there was like a non,
at least
not that they acted on it,
or that Richie
was in love. Richie was in love.
Yeah.
I don't think that's there in the book, but
it's not in the book. It's not.
I do like it.
Yeah, it's definitely not in the book.
As a guy who realized in his 40s he was in love with his childhood friend, like, that does happen, actually. Mm-hmm. And especially because and again, that's one of the few great moments, I think, in part 2, when he's deepening the carving of their names or whatever on the thing, and you hear the words, be who you are, or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I like that part of the story. Anyway, I don't know. I think this is good. I'm
It's
going to be
not
glad when they redo it in 20 or 25
Yeah.
years, though.
It's
I
not
will.
I will say it doesn't hold up as well upon multiple viewings, particularly part 2. I think part
No.
1 holds up. I'll just watch part 1, hell, I might get in the bathtub and watch part 1 right now. But
But it
it's
would have been
not
so much better if you had gotten glimpses of the adult storyline there.
Yeah.
That,
No,
like,
I
hey,
do
it
think
doesn't matter.
that would have fixed my beef, I think almost
Yeah.
100%. And it probably would have made that cast more like, and I don't know if it was like if it's like an actual actor issue, like maybe that cast just didn't connect well. I've seen them in interviews together, though they all seem to really, enjoy the process and everything. But it just didn't, I just didn't buy their coming together again. And it all just happened a little, and maybe they remembered everything too quickly. I don't know. I don't know. But it is my big beef with it is that adult relationships just don't quite seem right.
I don't want you to spoil anything because you've watched a good bit of Welcome to Derry so far, right? You're caught up, I think, of like 3
Mhm.
episodes in or something now. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay. I have not watched any of it yet, but I am hopeful if you're going to continue this series. And the idea there is that they're going to tell each incident of its emergence
Yeah.
going
So
backwards in time by
each
season,
time
right?
it comes back, there's always a huge event. This is one of the reasons why they have to come back and kill it. It didn't get its huge event. Um but like that kills a bunch of people. So there's the fire at the black spot, there's the Kitchener Ironworks explosion, and there's the Bradford gang, Brad something
Massacre.
gang massacre. Yeah. So like those
Yeah.
are the 3 big ones, and I think each season is going to hit those. We're starting with the black spot with this. We're in
Um,
the 1960s.
It's very exciting. I will just say the movie did a good job of hinting and drawing in little aspects of the cosmic horror side of this thing.
Yeah. And it
Just
being part of
show
the
me that
town.
turtle. Show me that fucking turtle, man. Like, it's so okay. Listen, I want you to mention Maturin or show Maturin or let Maturin speak and it not be just the drug. That was a clever idea, making the name of the hallucinogen that they take Maturin, but that's not enough. Like, okay, he's not really in the novel. I get that. He basically has like 2 conversations with Bill, and that's really all that he is there. But there is like at least 1 chapter, maybe 2 chapters, where we see from its perspective, like we're hearing its voice
Yeah.
and its memories.
Mhm.
And in those chapters, we get glimpses of Maturin and we get its thoughts about Maturin. And that's what I want, honestly. That's what I want. And you could give us that even in the TV show. That doesn't have to be in the movie, honestly. So
Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
crossing my fingers.
see, my favorite thing is like the stories that Mike is telling the kids about all these reappearances of it. Also, one of the
Yes.
fucking with Mike's character and giving his role to other characters. Like that wasn't like that annoyed me. That was a point. That's a point of annoyance with me with both of the with this particular adaptation. But at any
Yeah.
rate, the stories about it in the past were always fascinating to me. It's like the section in the stand. It's like a chapter, and it's like the whole feel of it's no great loss, and it's all the people that are just dying because of circumstance after they've survived the plague. A kid falls down a well, a girl gets locked in a freezer, and it's just a gun
It's
blows
the
up in a woman's
best.
face. It's the best.
Yeah.
They just came out with a companion book of short stories
The
from
end of the world as we know it.
yeah,
Isn't that the?
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's all like kind of that sort of thing. So this is the shit, and this is kind of like Mayfair history. Like this is the shit that I love, and no one ever does enough of. So the fact that we're getting a series that's going to tell me these stories in each fucking time period, I am pumped for it, and it just means good cast and more Skarsgård.
Okay, so probably there are rights issues involved, right? Because the various King books are in various locations at
Oh,
all times.
yeah.
And I mean, it's not like they could come out and be like, all things serve the beam, probably. But I mean, Maturin is a guardian of the beam, and this all ties to the Dark Tower, and all of King's books are connected. And it is probably a cousin of the Crimson King or an emissary of the Crimson King, or maybe the Crimson King embodied in our world. Like, there's a lot of ways to read that, but like
Mhm.
all of these things tie into each other.
Right.
And I'm hopeful in a world where AMC has all the money of God to throw at things, and they now have an overall deal with Mike Flanagan, and Mike Flanagan and Stephen King are buddy-buddy, and they're taking a run at the Dark Tower, give me some cosmic turtles is all I'm saying. Give me some
Give
cosmic
Joel
turtles.
his turtles. I would not be surprised if we get there, honestly. But
I had this conversation with Judah like not too long ago. He came to me and asked me about the turtle. He's like, "So is God a turtle in Stephen King's books?" And I was like, "One of the gods is a turtle. One of the lower gods, perhaps."
It's complicated.
Yeah, it's very complicated. But the glimpses of that we see, like the way that, okay, right at the end of part 2, when he captures Richie in the deadlights, the way that he does it is he opens up his mouth, but it's not his mouth or his head where the deadlights are coming from. You see it. He's siphoning it from another dimension. He's pulling that energy that he's sharing from a totally different place, right? And it's not even like it's so clearly some sort of fourth dimensional existence that we're interacting with there. And the way that he's defeated and the way that he goes away, like all of that stuff fits into that cosmic realm. Anyway, we're like on the cusp of it. Just go ahead and do it.
Yeah, there's delicious. I mean, Stephen King sets up his own Easter eggs, which some of which you get to nibble on.
Yeah.
During Welcome to Derry for sure. So there are definitely any Easter egg he put in. So far, we're seeing them. So.
Awesome. All right. Well, that is our thoughts on those two movies. We've got more to come. Ashley and I are going to start talking about Welcome to Derry next week. We'll cover that episode by episode and little bite-sized discussions like this in our Articulate Coven Afterlife. And once we're done with that, I say we ought to have an episode discussing that Tim Curry miniseries because I need an excuse to watch it again.
Oh,
Ashley, it's been too long.
Woo!
It's so fun.
I'll watch that anytime. I love it.
And it'll be interesting, since we've both done this recently, to see some of the choices that they made, what to add and what to keep out, and also the sacrifices that they had to make to get that damn thing on TV. I mean, you got to remember that ran on regular network television.
Network television. Yep, 100%. There's a really great documentary about the making of it.
Really?
Yeah, there is. I think
it's on
miniseries? Amazon. I think it's on Amazon Prime.
Holy moly. All right. Well, now I got to go watch that too. All right. That's what you can look forward to in Articulate Coven Afterlife in the future. And thank you again for supporting the show to get access to these. Until we talk to you next time, we've been your hosts. I'm Joel.
I'm Ashley.
And we are the Articulate Coven. Once we've finished Welcome to Derry, which we already have now, we're going to be talking about Stranger Things in a single episode, just because it's not really our bag, but it does have a lot of Stephen King connections. We're also going to be talking about the series Castle Rock from Hulu. We're going to be talking about heated rivalries in the future. That is very much in line with our vampire fans. We talk about Interview with the Vampire, which is soon to be the Vampire Lestat from AMC and AMC Plus. You can get all of it and early and ad-free, like I said, articulatecoven.com/join. But if you've just found us, there's a whole bunch of it to enjoy right here already for you. Thanks for watching these videos, and stay tuned because there's more of them coming.